Shutter speed. That old shutter, what we say the shutter speed was? It's on there. It's on the screen. You can see it. It's on the screen, the eyelid. So we do it with me real quick. Right? This is what I want y'all to do. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to open them and close them again real fast. Yeah, real fast. You see that? And then I want you to close your eyes, then I want you to open it for about a second, and then close them again. You see, when you open your eyes and shut them real slow, you saw a whole lot. A lot of light came in. When you open your eyes and shut them real fast, you ain't really see much. Same thing with the camera. What you're doing, your shutter speed is a fraction also, right? Well, I got to put it. I ain't got no numbers up there for you. But your shutter speed is a fraction also. So if you're shooting with a shutter speed, let's just say 1/30, that's a really slow shutter speed. That's the equivalent of closing your eyes, open them, leaving them open for about a half second, and then closing it. And not a half a second, it's like a 30th of a second. But the camera get a time to see a whole lot more light. A whole lot more light is coming in. If you shooting a football player running down the field, you probably want a shutter speed more of like 1/1000th of a second because it's going really fast. I'm kind of getting into the aesthetic part of it because that's going to help freezing because it controls motion blur. That's how you control your motion blur also, and we're going to dive into that in the next part, but that's how you control motion blur with the shutter speed. But as far as light, the smaller the number is on the bottom, the shutter speed is a time value. So the smaller the number is on the bottom, the longer that shutter is staying open. It's staying open for a longer period of time, so it's seeing more light. The faster the number is on the bottom, the faster the number is on the bottom, the quicker it's opening and closing, so it's seeing less light. And again, the shutter speed, it controls the amount of light reaching the sensor also, but it deals with time. And it's also measured in stops of light. And like we said, a stop of light is nothing more than doubling your setting. You double your setting, you're increasing the amount of light by one stop. If you cut your setting in half, you're decreasing the amount of light by one stop. So when it comes to shutter speeds, if you got a shutter speed of 1/1000, and then you go to a shutter speed of 1/500, you just doubled it because it's going slower. It's fractions. It worked backwards. It's going slower, so you just double it, or you increase the amount of light you letting in by one stop. If you go from 1/500th of a second to 1/1000, you just cut it in half, called 500 to 1,000, 1,000 to 500. It's like you doubling it. You just cut it in half because it's staying open for half the time. You just let one stop less light in. Everybody still with me?